Test 1, 2, 3, 4. said, I wanted to first start today by recognizing my girl, one of my first of the 5 seniors, Sabika Olamjanova. Alright, before I give her what I want to give her, I just want to say a couple things about Sabika and her character. Sabika, I've had the pleasure of coaching you for 2 years now. Sabika has always been one of the most amazing individuals you'll ever meet. It doesn't matter if she's wrestling a boy or a girl, she is always willing to wrestle, and I love that about her. Her attention to detail, her dedication, and her love for the sport is continuously on display when she takes this mat every single time. I know what the lessons and tools that wrestling has equipped Sabika with will help her achieve great things both on, hopefully in college, and beyond the mat. Her growth as an individual and as a wrestler this year has been astronomical, and I am beyond blessed to have the honor of coaching her for now 2 seasons. So Sabika, coaches, if you don't mind, here is your own honorary singlet as a token to commemorate your time with wrestling with us, and some flowers. Thank you, Sabika. Alright. Next up is my guy, Jin Kim. Alright, so it's been a rough 2 years for Jin. You know, Jin's been wrestling with us for 2 years, and unfortunately both those seasons have been cut short by injury. I have done nothing but cherish the time I've had with Jin. The constant conversations we've had on our Mind app, and all the times we talk throughout the hallways. Jin is one of definitely the most resilient individuals I've ever met. He simply just has a no-give-up attitude, and I love that about him. This is something that deeply embodies his overall character as a person, and something that I deeply respect. Jin, I fully believe that you are going to achieve all you hope for in life. With that never die attitude, my man. So everyone, let's hear it for Jin Kim. We also got him his own honorary singlet and 2 roses. All right, next wrestler, I've only had the pleasure of coaching him this 1 year, Mr. George Kabajian. All right, so, though it's only his first year of wrestling, right, and I've only had a short time with George, he stuck out really to me right away because of how late he joined the sport. Clearly he had interest because he joined the sport so late, and then he joined the sport literally late by bringing his paperwork in late. So he stuck out right away like a sore thumb. One thing I gotta say about George this year, when I first got him, he was totally shy, wouldn't talk to anyone, never came out of a show. I'm seeing him through this sport grow as a person, as an individual. I'm starting to see his confidence, and I love it. When he first started, he would voice his concerns literally to the point where he wouldn't even ask to get a drink. we're at a tournament and he almost ended up passing out. George, with all that being said, I see that this sport has made you into a man. George, I wish you all the luck in the world, and I wish you all the luck in your future endeavors, my man. All right, tear it up for George. Let's clap it up. All right, last one, probably one of the hardest ones. Mr. Miles Beckerman. All right, so we got to commemorate my Miles. I would like to say that my coaching of Miles, right, is done. Coaching of the Beckermans is done, but it isn't because I got his knucklehead brother for a couple more years. A good old Owen. All right. I've had the pleasure for coaching Miles for 2 years now, and his growth in the sport is truly amazing to see. It's amazing how someone who started as a scorekeeper, he didn't even want to wrestle. He just did scorekeeping for us in the beginning. He grew to become the team captain, right, and the standout wrestler on our team. That's just a testament to your character, my guy. How you worked tirelessly to achieve all your dreams. How you got into your dream college. Miles, you are truly a star both on and off the mat. You embody everything what it means to be a true student athlete. An AP student and an AP wrestler in my book. With all that being said, I wish you the best of luck in life, my man. I know you're going to achieve amazing things. Thank you for everything, and thank you for granting me the privilege of being your coach. Love you, buddy. All right, that concludes the senior night. Let's get started and let's get ready to wrestle!
Bridgman. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. hear tonight's matchups. Weighing in at 106 from Mahwah, Ava Novello, unopposed. Weighing in at 113 from Mahwah, Lindsay Cunningham. For Fort Lee, Samika Oljanova. Weighing in at 120 from Mahwah, Julio T-Jax. For Fort Lee, Andrew Margoli. Weighing in at 126 from Mahwah, Cole Baruda. For Fort Lee, Harrington Nonya. Weighing in at 132 from Mahwah, Josh Hefferman or Michael Shrek. For Fort Lee, Michael Capiz. Weighing in at 138 from Mahwah, Josh Hefferman or Michael Schrick. For Fort Lee, Max Diminowski. Weighing in at 144 from Mahwah, Jonah Bales. For Fort Lee, David Mamedov. Weighing in at 150 from Mahwah, Alex Chrissy. For Fort Lee, Owen Beckerman. Weighing in at 157 from Mahwah, Zach Sugako. For Fort Lee, Brian Kim. Weighing in at 165 from Mahwah, Noel Hall or Josh Braxton. For Fort Lee, Emilio Vasquez. Weighing in at 175 from Mahwah, Noel Hall or Josh Braxton. For Fort Lee, Michael Gibb. Weighing in at 190 from Mahwah, Brandon Tivick. For Fort Lee, Miles Beckerman. Weighing in at 215 from Mahwah, Marius Mayer or Vermar Pitts. For Fort Lee, Gary Vargas Martinez. Weighing in at 285 from Mahwah, Marius Mayer or Vermar Pitts. Unopposed. Good luck to all the wrestlers.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to East Gymnasium as we're back for some Fort Lee wrestling action as the Bridgemen are going to be taking on the Mahwah Thunderbirds here this evening in a non-league showdown here in the Big North. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by my producer, Dimitri Nanis. So glad that he could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Mahwah 3-7 on the season. Fort Lee 2-5. It's senior night here at Fort Lee as head coach John Melendez honoring his seniors prior to tonight's match. This is the only second home match of the season, this duel against Mahwah. The only previous one here at home was back prior to Christmas, December 20th. They come from behind 36-32 victory for the Bridgemen against Lodi that night. So now Fort Lee is finally back home, and they're going to be trying to take down the Thunderbirds, something that they did a season ago. And the last meeting was February 11th, 2023 here at East Gymnasium. Fort Lee won 54-27. They won 9 of the 14 total bouts and had maximum bonus points in every win, 7 pins and 2 forfeit victories. So the opening bout was at 106 pounds, and that led to a forfeit victory for Mahwah. And now we're at 113 pounds. Mahwah with Lindsay Cunningham in the blue and Sabika Olumjanova in the black for Fort Lee. So Mahwah leads currently 6-0 here in the first 30 seconds of the first period at 113 pounds. Genova on the bottom here. Cunningham trying to take control here. It's a 2-0 lead for Genova. But Cunningham trying to rotate around to potentially have a reversal and deadlock this score at 2-all. Right now on the scoreboard, it reads Fort Lee 2 and Mahwah 1, but they just gave an escape point to Genova. So I'm not sure if that is a correct score right now or if it's reversed and Cunningham is actually in the lead 2-1. 30 seconds left to go in the first period here at 113 pounds. Again, Fort Lee did not have a wrestler weigh in at 106 pounds. Ava Novello won by forfeit. That has given Mahwah a 6-0 team lead. John Melendez in his first season as the head coach here at Fort Lee, barking out the instructions on the right side of the mat. 2 seconds left. Genova trying to score a takedown late, but can't get the benefit of that call as time will run out. Cunningham will begin on bottom to start the second. Genova will ride on top. Genova trying to put Cunningham in a cradle and does. Near fall points being marked off. Cunningham trying to keep off her back. Genova trying to score a pinfall. She'll get the near fall with the back points. She'll score 2 near fall, extending her lead now to 4-1. $1:15 and counting left to go here in the second at 113 pounds. Sabika Genova, the senior, lost by pin against Mahwah last year, wrestling at 120 pounds. Wrestling at 113 here this season. Under a minute left to go in the second. Fort Lee's Genova leading 4-1 against Mahwah's Lindsey Cunningham. Fort Lee trying to snap a 4-duel losing streak in 4 straight matches, while Mahwah is trying to snap a 2-game skid as well. .25 seconds left to go in the second. Still the 2 near fall points accounting for the advantage of 4-1 right now for Genova. Again trying to expose Cunningham on her back. 8 seconds left. More near fall being counted off here in the waning moments of the second period. 3 seconds left to go in the second. Cunningham will survive. A couple occasions where it was close to being a pin victory for Genova. That'll add to her total here with 3 near fall there at the end. Now it is a 7-1 advantage for Genova heading into the start of the third. Both wrestlers in the neutral position to get underway at the final 2 minutes. Cunningham takes the shot, fires it backwards. Genova trying to fend her off. Both wrestlers go to the top side of the mat. Another takedown given to Oljanova, and once again putting Cunningham into the cradle, leading 9-1. Oljanova again getting so close to a possible pin. She'll get 3 more near fall points, extending her lead now to a 12-1 margin. In position for right now what would be a major decision. 57 seconds left to go in the third period here at 113 pounds. Again, more near fall being counted off as Cunningham slithers her way out of the grasp. 2 more near fall, 14-1. Another 2 points, and this would end the match as a tech fall. Get to the 15-point margin. That would give the 5 team points to Fort Lee and put them within 1 of Mahwah on the overall team scoreboard. Time becoming a concern, though. 20 seconds left to go. Cunningham could save her team a team point by only losing at this margin by 13. Oljanova once again trying to expose her backwards. Cunningham will have her chest on the mat and avoid losing by tech. But a 14-1 decisive victory here for Sabika Oljanova on Fort Lee Senior Night. We'll get Fort Lee on the board here for the first time this evening with a 14-1 major decision. Mahwah's overall team lead now is 6-4. That'll bring us now to going over now to 120 pounds. Julio Tajax versus Andrew Margolin. Margolin in the Fort Lee black, Tajax in the Mahwah blue, and Margolin strikes for the quick takedown and a 2-0 lead 20 seconds into the first. Margolin puts Tajax on his back. Again, near fall points being counted off for Fort Lee, but this time it's going to be a pinfall victory. Margolin won last year against Mahwah by forfeit. This time he takes care of business with the pin. Fort Lee now with back-to-back wins here this evening. They've now taken the overall lead on the team scoreboard 10-4 after the major by Oljanova at 113 and the pin at 120 pounds. That'll send us now to 126 pounds. Cole Baruta for Mahwah taking on Narek Harutunian. Baruta is the leader for Mahwah. The sophomore, 8-6 overall. He won by pin a season ago against the Bridgemen. Harutunian, a sophomore, lost by pin in his last match against Ramsey. And a 2-point takedown here for Cole Baruta. Baruta trying to run this move and expose Harutunian to his back. Again, we started at 106 pounds. No wrestler weighed in for Fort Lee. The forfeit victory went to Ava Novello of Mahwah. His near fall being counted off as Baruta again trying to close in on what would be his 9th win of the season. Another 2 points given to Baruta. Both wrestlers go out of bounds on the near side to the 50-second mark of the first period of action here at 126. 4-0 lead for Baruta. Fort Lee got their first victory at 113 pounds. Sabika Oljanova on her senior night produced a 14-1 major decision On Fort Lee back to within 2 of Mahwah on the team scoreboard, and then Andrew Margolin just gave Fort Lee the lead with a pinfall early on in his first period match of 120 pounds. Garuda trying to put Mahwah potentially back in the lead if he could secure the pin, and he will do that just in front of the Fort Lee sideline. Mahwah with their first pinfall victory of the evening. Second time that they've won by bonus after they won by forfeit at 106. Mahwah retakes the lead at 12-10 on the team scoreboard as we head to 132 pounds. Michael Schreck will be the decided wrestler here for Mahwah. Michael Campese or Fort Lee. Campese, a junior for the Bridgemen, lost by pin in his last bout against Ramsey. And Schreck, a freshman, 2-6 on the season, lost by pin in his last match against Dumont. Mahwah's last bout was against Dumont, 61-15 overall loss on January 17th. Fort Lee coming off a 45-33 loss on the road at Ramsey on January 17th. No score yet between Schreck and Campese. And only the second home duel here at East Gymnasium this entire winter. Fort Lee's been on the road. They'll have one scheduled home match left after this, taking on Westwood on February 2nd. Schreck will bring Campese down for the takedown, and the Mahwah Thunderbird wrestler will take an early 2-0 lead, a minute gone by here in the first. Is he trying to get to his feet? Does get the escape point after he's trying to maneuver around the legs of Schreck. Bridgemen have won their last 2 duels against Mahwah, 60-24 in 2022 and 54-27 last year in 2023. Campese tries to go for the shot with 20 seconds left. He's being held off here by Schreck. Schreck took an early 2-0 lead. He's holding on now, literally and favorably, as he's got a 2-1 advantage with under 10 seconds left to go in the first. Campese trying to push him backwards for a late takedown. 2 seconds left to go in the period. And the time will expire there in the first period after 2 minutes have gone in the books. Campese will elect to start on bottom to begin the second. And Michael Schreck looking for what would be his 3rd win of the season, a freshman in the lineup for Mahwah here this evening. Mahwah's 3 wins this season. First one came in the season opener on the road against Dwight Morrow, as Campese gets the escape to level the score at 2-2, 20 seconds gone by here in the second. He also defeated Hoboken and Waldwick. Campese puts Schreck on his back momentarily. Now near fall points being counted off. Three-point move there for Campese. And the Fort Lee wrestler has now taken the lead. The junior leads 5-2. Schreck will have to be on bottom here for this restart with 1:17 left in the second period. Fort Lee's 2 wins. We saw it earlier on this season on our broadcast airwaves. They came from behind to defeat Lodi. They also then went on the road and defeated Weehawken But since that point, they've lost their last 4 in a row against Dwight Morrow, Pagoda, St. Joseph Regional, the #1 ranked team in New Jersey, and Ramsey. A 6-3 lead right now for Campisi in the black for Fort Lee. Approaching the final 40 seconds of the second period. And Campisi, what a nice move there. The 2-point takedown. Extends his lead now to 8-3 as Schreck will run his way out of bounds in front of the Fort Lee sideline. 31 seconds remain in the second period. Caution, as Campisi was moving a little early there before the whistle. Trying to get the timing down to prevent Schreck from getting to his feet to have that escape point. Schreck gets to his feet, and he breaks free. Pulls back to within 4 at 8-4. Under 20 seconds left to go in the second. Under 10 seconds now left to go. Through 2 quarters, or 2 periods, I should say, of action here at 132 pounds. It's Michael Campisi of Fort Lee on top of Michael Schreck of Mahwah by a score of 8-4. This has been the closest bout so far in this team duel. Seen bonus points in every one of the preceding 4 bouts. Schreck maneuvers out of the grasp of Campisi and gets another escape point. He now takes the shot low. Campisi trying to fend him off. Schreck has scored the last 2 unanswered points in this bout at 132 on a pair of escapes, 1 to end the second and 1 to begin the third. He's sprawled out chest first as Campisi now trying to lock on and rotate around and maybe score a reversal. Trying to hold on and immobilize the back of the right ankle. Campisi rotates around. No points given. There was no control, no 2 points for Campisi, so that did not warrant then another escape for Schreck. Coming up on 1 minute left to go here in regulation in the third. It's an 8-5 lead for Fort Lee's Campisi, but now that lead is down to 1 as it goes out of bounds. Schreck with a nice maneuver. Got the takedown himself. It's 8-7. Coaching staff for Mahwah, led by head coach Benjamin Wagman, calling for a neutral start. They cut Campisi free. That now makes it a takedown advantage, 9-7. Campisi shoots for the midsection. Schreck fending him off. Trying to bring him around. Schreck looking for that tying shot as Campisi in his clutches in the upper right-hand corner of the mat. And both wrestlers go out of bounds to the upper right-hand corner. Schreck has been the better wrestler since falling from behind 8-3. Campisi might be running out of gas a little bit here. He's trying to get to the finish line. 9-7 lead. Campisi, as you could see, is feeling the brunt of this matchup. Looks like Schreck has a little bit more energy right now, but is he going to run out of time? Campisi trying to hold on for his darndest here. Under 10 seconds left to go in the third. 5 seconds left to go. Campisi trying to hold on. Both wrestlers out of bounds to the lower right-hand corner. 1.2 seconds left to go. But no real stall warning yet against Campisi, so he might just jump out of the circle here and hold on to time. And he will survive there with a 9-7 decision for Fort Lee. Michael Campisi, the junior, with the win. That'll give Fort Lee back the overall lead in the duel at 13-12 after the decision at 132 pounds. So Campisi holds on to win 9-7 as we now head to 138 pounds. At 138 pounds, Josh Heffernan for Mahwah. Taking on Max Diminovsky for Fort Lee. Diminovsky, a junior, lost by pin against Mahwah a season ago at 138 pounds. And Heffernan taking on Diminovsky here tonight. Diminovsky trying to gain control on the left-hand side of the mat. They both spin around, out of bounds, and go back to the inner circle in the neutral upright position. Fort Lee leading overall 13-12. Diminovsky again trying to gain the control over Heffernan and rotate around him. Looking for the initial takedown that would give him a 2-0 lead. Good rollout there by Heffernan to avoid giving up the first 2 points. Now Heffernan taking the shot on the right leg of Diminovsky. Diminovsky once again trying to hold and then go from behind, and he does just that to score the 2-point takedown. So Diminovsky of Fort Lee leads 2-0. We close in on the final 40 seconds of the first period. Heffernan gets to his feet. Can he break free for the escape, though? Diminovsky throws him back down to the mat. 20 seconds left to go in the first year at 138 pounds. We begin tonight at 106. Diminovsky briefly had Heffernan in a cradle. 10 seconds left to go in the period. Diminovsky again putting Heffernan on his back briefly. Heffernan rotated around to get out of harm's way, and he's going to be saved by the buzzer there, as Diminovsky was close to putting him in a full cradle and exposing him to near fall points. Heffernan will start the second period on bottom. Diminovsky will be riding on top with a 2-0 lead, scored the lone takedown of the first period. Diminovsky this time does get Heffernan in the cradle to begin the period. Heffernan trying to lock on, but it's too little too late, and Max Diminovsky of Fort Lee produces the pinfall victory for the Bridgemen. It's the second win by pin here tonight on senior night. Fourth overall bout won by the Bridgemen here this evening, as Fort Lee stretches their overall team lead now to their largest advantage of the evening at 7, 19-12. Jonah Vales for Mahwah here at 144 pounds. And David Mamadov for Fort Lee. Mamadov, a junior, won by pin at 144 pounds against Mahwah a season ago. And Mamadov quick to work with the 2-point takedown of Vales. Jonah Vales, a senior, 3-6. Lost recently by decision in their duel against Dumont. Mamadov almost rotated around and potentially dangerous. The whistle, that'll stop the advance of Mamadov, who was trying to expose Vales backwards. Bridgemen currently fourth in the Big North American Division, with Dumont, the team that just defeated Mahwah, sitting atop the standings. Mahwah ranking 5th in their division the very competitive Big North Patriot Division, with Westwood, one of the top public school programs in North Jersey this season, sitting atop the league with a unblemished 12-0 record overall in the season. Mahwah again trying to extend over, flipping Vales briefly onto his back. 50 seconds left to go in the first, and still just a 2-0 advantage right now for Mahwah of Fort Lee. Both wrestlers over to the left-hand side of the mat. Approaching the final 20 seconds. Vales looking to turn the tables on Mahwah, who's trying to go for a risky move. And Vales might have been able to score the reversal, and he does. The final 10 seconds of the first period, it's now a 2-2 score. Mahwah was seemingly in control for the entirety of this first period, but then at the last moment, Vales flipped the script of that match and tied it up at 2-2. So Vales will start on bottom to begin the second period at 144 pounds. Tie score 2-2 between himself and David Mahwah of Fort Lee. Mahwah in the black and Vales in the Carolina blue. Fort Lee has won the last two consecutive bouts at 132 and 138 pounds. That has given them a 7-point advantage on the overall team scoreboard. Mahwah still riding on top of Vales, who's looking for that escape that could give him his first lead of this bout here at 144. Vales nearly turned himself into a precarious situation there, as both wrestlers on the left side of the mat go out of bounds. 47.4 seconds left to go. Vales quickly got to his feet. Mahwah setting him right back down. Mahwah ride him out for the final 40 seconds. It would still remain 2-2, and Mahwah would possibly have an opportunity to start on bottom, get an escape, and take the lead in the third. Vales is looking for that escape point, but again, time becoming a factor here. Each wrestler with one takedown apiece. Vales was trying to get up, and Mahwah sent him right back down. Vales once again trying to do something here. Mahwah surrenders the late two late in the period, and that will lead to a 4-2 advantage for Vales. So just like we saw earlier in this bout, Mahwah was in control, but then Jonah Vales has had that uncanny ability to find a way out of harm's way and flip the tables on top of Mahwah. He did that when Mahwah looked like he was going to be taking a 2-0 lead into the start of the second. And then there at the very end, with under 30 seconds left to go at the end of the second period, it looks like it could potentially be 2-2 getting into the start of the third. But Vales scored a late reversal and a takedown of his own to give himself a 2-point lead. So that means Mahwah not only has to get out, but also score a takedown to possibly score a come-from-behind victory for Fort Lee. There's 20 seconds gone by here in the third, and Vales riding on top of Mahwah, trying to give Mahwah what would be their third victory of the night. Vales putting Mahwah on his back in a cradle. Referee searching to see whether or not the shoulder is exposed on the mat. This would be a big turnabout here, and bonus points for the Thunderbirds. Mahwah still trying to get out of trouble here. Vales so close to not only securing the win, but the pinfall. 1 minute left to go. Holding 3, near fall, so Vales will extend his lead now to 7-2. So Mahwah now has to play the numbers game, and he may not be able to come from behind and win this one. Now he's just trying to help his team out on the overall team scoreboard and not surrender bonus points. 38 seconds and counting left to go. Both wrestlers stand up and go out of bounds. 35.6 seconds left in the third. 7-2 advantage now for Jonah Vales. He has scored 7 unanswered points in this bout here at 144 pounds. Seven-two advantage for Vales with under 20 seconds now left to go in the third period. Ten seconds left. And Jonah Vales, the senior, will be picking up his 4th win of the year for the Thunderbirds. Scores the last 7 unanswered points on his way to a 7-2 decision. And Mahwah now cuts into that Fort Lee lead on the team scoreboard. It's a 19-15 advantage for the Bridgemen as we head to 150 pounds. Owen Beckerman for Fort Lee here at 150 pounds. Alex Chrissy for Mahwah at 150. Chrissy is sophomore, 5 wins on the season, 5-6, lost by pin against Fort Lee a season ago. Owen Beckerman, a sophomore, won by pin at 157 pounds last season. Wrestling at 150 this year. Beckerman in the black, Chrissy in the blue. Both wrestlers going at it with knees on the mat, trying to lock on behind each other's necks. Beckerman looking for that leverage. Scores the takedown to take a 2-0 initial lead. Beckerman looking for more as he's holding on for control. 55 seconds left to go. Chrissy breaks free to get the escape. To cut into that deficit now, it's 2-1. As both wrestlers to the middle of the mat. Owen Beckerman with a lone takedown so far. Chrissy was going for that shot. Beckerman was trying to put him on his back. And now a pinfall victory for Owen Beckerman. Well, sophomore took the shot. Great execution there. Put Chrissy on his back and in the middle of the mat scores the 6 points for the Bridgemen. Fort Lee's 3rd win by pin so far here this evening. And the Fort Lee lead grows to 25-15, their largest advantage so far here tonight. Fort Lee has won 5 out of the first 8 bouts here this evening as we head to 157 pounds. Ryan Kim, the sophomore for Fort Lee, awaits. Excuse me, Chrissy getting the bump up to 157 pounds. My apologies. Sagako was the man who was before. So Chrissy wearing the mask for Mahwah, taking on Ryan Kim. Kim lost by pin last year against Mahwah. Chrissy also lost by pin in this matchup against Fort Lee. Still no points. 1:15 left to go in a scoreless first period at 157 pounds. Kim is locked on to Chrissy. Exposes Chrissy to his back in the cradle. Chrissy trying to keep his shoulder blades off of the mat. Kim rotates around after getting near fall counted off. Kim looking for more, and he'll get 3 near fall along with a takedown to take a 5-point lead at 5-0. Nice maneuver there by Ryan Kim. Richmond with 3 wins by pin here tonight. Mahwah with 1 pin and 1 forfeit victory. Kim sending Chrissy back down. Eight seconds left to go in the first. Kim sending Chrissy back down to the mat. 3 seconds left. Chrissy desperately trying to break free to score a late escape, but Kim will have none of it. Nice first period of action there for Fort Lee's Ryan Kim. Will take a 5-point lead with him into the start of the second period here at 157 pounds. Neutral start for both wrestlers to begin the second as Kim takes the shot and sends Chrissy back down to the mat for another takedown. 7-0 lead now for Kim. Kim trying to rotate around. Chrissy trying to hop to his feet. Does manage to pull them both out of bounds to the lower left-hand corner. And they'll have to restart in the middle of the mat. Chrissy on bottom, Kim working on top. 31 seconds gone by in the second period. It's 7-0 lead for Kim. He's been great early on in this match. And a whistle for a potential dangerous move. Chrissy will once again have to work on bottom. Chrissy trying to get to his feet. Stall warning hit against Kim of Fort Lee. Under a minute now left to go in the second. Kim has been in control on the scoreboard and also through the majority of this second period. Chrissy has just not been able to break free. And has been riding on top. Under 30 seconds now left to go in the second period. Chrissy finally gets on the scoreboard, breaks free with the escape. 7-1 lead for Ryan Kim of Fort Lee. 15 seconds left to go in the period. Chrissy goes for a shot opportunity, blocked away by Kim. Kim will now try to rotate around him to try to score a late takedown. Nice move, putting Chrissy to his back with 3 seconds left to go in the period. And a pin for Fort Lee with 0.7 seconds left to go in the second period. Nice move there by Ryan Kim, going aggressively at the end there to make that maneuver that put Chrissy to his back. And Fort Lee with now their 4th win by pin here this evening. The Bridgmen starting to grow that lead. It's 31-15, the advantage on top of the Thunderbirds, as Fort Lee with their 6th bounce won here tonight. We'd like to thank our proud sponsors of our broadcast coverage here of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. 165-pound weight class.
Velasquez versus Sugako.
Emilio Velasquez and Zach Sugako. So Sugako, who looked like he was going to be originally at around 157 pounds, now bumped up to 165. Emilio Velasquez for Fort Lee, the junior, won by pin against Mahwah a season ago. Sugako lost by pin in his most recent match against Dumont. 30 seconds into the first, and Velasquez with the 2-point lead on the takedown. Velasquez still riding on top as both wrestlers to the upper left-hand corner of the mat. Velasquez trying to put Sugako on his back. You can see that he's exposed one shoulder. Trying to leverage him. Left to the right, there he goes. Near fall being counted off in the upper left-hand corner. Sugako trying to prop his way out of harm's way. Does a good job of stopping that near fall count. 38 seconds left to go here in the first as both wrestlers go out of bounds, and holding 3 that time. It's going to be a 5-0 lead for Emilio Velasquez. False start opportunity there for Zach Sugako. Trying to time the whistle there, but it was moving a little too early. 5-0 lead for Fort Lee's Emilio Velasquez. Junior in front by 5-0, closing in on the final 25 seconds of the first period. Ten seconds left in the first. Velasquez putting Sugako on his back. Near fall being counted off. Fort Lee just had a pin in the last bout with 0.7 seconds left to go in the period and nearly had another buzzer beater there. 4 points now. It's now a 7-0 lead for Velasquez. Fresh 2 minutes put on the board to begin the second period. And it will be a neutral start for both wrestlers to begin period number 2. Velasquez quickly putting Sugako back down on the mat. Another takedown, 9-0 advantage for the Fort Lee junior. Velasquez. Still in control on the far left side of the mat, right in front of the Mahwah sideline. Now a caution against Velasquez. Sugako was trying to get to his feet. Coming up on a minute gone by in the second. It's been all Velasquez for Fort Lee in front by 9-0. Here at 165 pounds. Again, near fall being counted off. 2 more points given to Fort Lee's Velasquez, who has a commanding 11-point lead, 11-0. A stoppage now with 37.6 seconds left to go. A stoppage here. Looks like it might be a case of blood time. So there's a little blood trickling out of the nostril of Velasquez. Not actually against Sagako. 37.6 seconds left to go in the second. 11-0 lead. Again, if you're just joining us, we started at 106 pounds. Fort Lee forfeited at 106. So Mahwah took a 6-0 lead. But then Fort Lee got back in the thick of things here. Zabika Oljanova on her senior night scored a 14-1 major decision at 113 pounds. That made it 6-4 lead for the Thunderbirds. At 120 pounds, Andrew Margolin gave Fort Lee their first lead of the evening with a pin. That made it 10-4 Fort Lee. Mahwah would take back the lead after a Cole Baruta pin at 126 pounds. They led 12-10. But since then, it's been Fort Lee in front. Michael Campisi held on for a 9-7 decision at 132. Max Diminovsky had a pin at 138. Jonah Vales of Mahwah won a 7-2 decision at 144. Owen Beckerman with a pin for Fort Lee at 150, and Ryan Kim with a pin at 157 pounds. Emilio Velasquez has been in control here, leading 11-0 with under 20 seconds left to go in the second period at 165 pounds. Now a stall warning against Velasquez as Sagako was trying to get to his feet for a potential escape. And 2 periods are done here at 165 pounds. Still an 11-0 advantage. A couple more takedowns here could enter into a tech fall decision for Fort Lee's Velasquez. Attacks right away. Sagako caught Velasquez, an almost disaster for Fort Lee. (11-2) at the lead, and now it's looks like blood time again. Velasquez so dangerously close there. He's leading 11-0, and then the tables were turned by Sagako. Sagako gets the 2 points. But it was almost disaster for Fort Lee's Velasquez, and he was almost put to his back and led to a surprise and startling, quite frankly, pinfall loss. And that's what head coach John Melendez in his first season here as the head man at Fort Lee was trying to instruct his wrestler in the midst of this blood time, with Fort Lee trainer Tom Herr attending to his blood. Saying be smart about it. Don't take too many risks here. You're up 11-0. I know you want to go for the pin, but don't want to sacrifice something here. Now Tom Herr just attending to some blood that might have been on Sagako. Before we resume action here, 10 seconds into the start of the third period at 165 pounds. So Sagako of Mahwah gets his first 2 points of the match, and we'll see if he can build off that momentum a bit here. I'll clean up a little blood off the mat as well before we resume the action here with 150 left to go in the third at 165 pounds. In a neutral position for both sides. Takedown there for Emilio Velasquez. 14-2 advantage now. Sagako trying to keep off his back here. 120 left to go in the third at 165 pounds. Velasquez putting Sagako onto his back. Velasquez trying to complete that hold here. Still no sign of a pin. Sagako doing a good job of trying to fight it off. Still a lot of time remaining here in the third for Sagako to try to get out of the clutches of Velasquez. It's asking a lot here. 14-2 advantage right now for the Fort Lee Bridgman wrestler. Again, Sagako did a great job of avoiding the pinfall, but the 3 near fall will give the tech fall for Emilio Velasquez, as he will win by a final score of 17-2. That'll give 5 more team points to Fort Lee. 36-15 lead for the Bridgmen. The 7th Bridgman win so far here tonight. First tech fall win for Fort Lee here tonight to go along with 4 pins. Noel Hall will take on Michael Jim. Noel Hall, a junior from Mahwah, 2-7 on the season, lost by pin in his last match against Dumont. Michael Jim is a junior, won by pin against Ramsey in his last bout, in his last matchup for Fort Lee. Jim in the black, Hall in the blue. Jim trying to put Hall to his back, and he does. The takedown. And Jim of Fort Lee now leads 2-0. Trying to drag Hall backwards. All trying to get out of the hold there of Michael Jim. Fort Lee leading by 21 on the team scoreboard. Only 3 bouts left after this one. Jim wins this one. It will lock up the overall duel and the victory for Fort Lee, which would be their 3rd win of the season. Hall got the escape to now make this 2-1 deficit, closing into the final 20 seconds of the first period at 175 pounds. Jim with the takedown again. Will extend his lead now to 4-1 after the first 2 minutes of action. Both wrestlers will start in neutral position to begin the second period. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis. Thanks for joining us on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Second broadcast coverage this winter of Fort Lee Bridgman Wrestling. Fort Lee trying to go to 2-0 here at East Gym this season. Taking on the Mahwah Thunderbirds. Mahwah 3-7 on the season, Fort Lee 2-5. Fort Lee trying to win for the 3rd consecutive year against Mahwah. Still a 4-1 advantage for Michael Jim. He is in the black with the orange FL on his chest. Mahwah in their signature Carolina blue. Jim putting down Hall, getting the near fall counted off to the near left side. Jim looking for the pin. Again, any win here for Jim and Fort Lee will win the overall duel, and that will be just the case. A pinfall victory for Michael Jim, the junior, for Fort Lee. The 5th win by pin here this evening for the Bridgemen. And Fort Lee will make it a successful senior night to honor their senior class as we head to the final 3 bouts of the evening. A 42-15 lead for Fort Lee as the Bridgemen have now won 8 bouts here tonight. Brandon Fivak taking on Miles Beckerman. Fivak, a senior, lost by pin against Fort Lee a season ago, and Beckerman, a senior as well, won by pin last year against the Thunderbirds. Fivak lost at 175 last season, and Beckerman won at 215 pounds. Beckerman, one of the seniors honored prior to tonight's opening of this duel. .30 seconds gone by, 2-0 lead for Beckerman as Fivak is on bottom. His brother Owen already has won by pin earlier tonight for Fort Lee at 150 pounds. Beckerman putting Fivak in a cradle, and a pinfall victory at the middle of the mat. So Miles Beckerman will be another senior who will win on senior night here at home in East Gym. Sixth win by pin here this evening for the Bridgemen. 48-15 lead on the overall team scoreboard as we head down to the final 2 bouts of the evening at a 215-pound weight class. Matthew Dominguez for Fort Lee. The junior, 215 pounds, won by forfeit against the Thunderbirds at 190 pounds a season ago. Taking on Marius Meyer, the senior, who lost by pin against the Bridgemen at this weight class at 215 last winter. Dominguez in the black, Meyer in the blue. Mahwah has won only 3 bouts all evening long, the first one coming via the forfeit at 106 pounds. Dominguez putting Meyer on his back. Fort Lee looking for their 7th pin of the night. They won by 7 pins last year against the Thunderbirds, and they'll get pin number 7 here at 215 pounds. Fort Lee leading 54-15 as we head to our final bout of the evening at 285 pounds. Most points this season now for the Bridgemen here tonight at 54. They had 51 in the win on the road at Weehawken back on December 22nd, so now a season high. Guerriere Vargas Martinez for Fort Lee, the junior at 285 pounds, taking on Vermar Pitts, the sophomore for Mahwah, who has 3 wins on the season. Pitts lost by pin last year against Fort Lee. He's in danger already here. Vargas Martinez won by pin in his last match against Ramsey. And a quick pin there by Fort Lee. And the Bridgemen will flex their muscles here at home this evening. They will have 8 wins by pin on their way to the overall dual victory. A final score of 60-15 over Mahwah. Mahwah with the defeat will fall to 3-8 on the season, while Fort Lee will have it as a very happy senior night. The Bridgemen will move to 2-0 here at home this year and 3-5 overall, picking up their first win since December 22nd. Again, 8 wins by pin here this evening for Fort Lee. An impressive outing for Coach John Melendez on senior night. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage here of Fort Lee Bridgemen Athletics and Wrestling here this evening. We'd like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgemen Athletics, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law offices of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. Again, the upcoming schedule for both sides. Mahwah will travel to Ramsey for their next outing on January 26th, while Fort Lee will head to arch-rival Cliffside Park on January 26th. We'll be back on February 2nd here for the final home duel of the season for the Bridgemen as they'll take on Public Power this year in Westwood. So for my broadcast producer, Dimitri Nanis, I'm Dan Long saying so long and thanks for watching Fort Lee Wrestling here on YouTube. Take care, everybody.